This week, an entire show devoted to sci-fi and fantasy creators from the UK. We'll be buzzing with novelist Jeff Noon, cruising the wacky and cynical world of British sci-fi TV, hanging with comic book writer Alan Moore, and psychoanalyzing Lewis Carroll, the author of Alice in Wonderland. We've come to a Doctor Who convention in Van Nuys, California, to talk with devoted fans of British science fiction. Now, Doctor Who is not the only celebrated British sci-fi TV series. For instance, this one here I'm watching is called Blake's 7. Some we know, some we don't know, but most are available now on home video, so us Yanks over here can enjoy them.
I think you ought to know I'm feeling very depressed.
While American sci-fi TV series tend to take themselves quite seriously, their British counterparts have frequently reflected a different attitude. There's rarely any idealism or sense of mission like you find on celebrated U.S. shows such as Star Trek. Instead, the classic Brit programs ooze campiness, sarcasm, and cynicism.
Well, what happened to the Earth? It's been disintegrated.
Has it?
Yes. It just boiled away into space.
Listen, I'm a bit upset about that.
The granddaddy of English sci-fi series is Doctor Who, which debuted in 1963 and ran a phenomenal 26 years. They went through 7 actors in the role of Doctor Who, an eccentric Time Lord who journeyed across time and space in a police telephone box.
You mean you can't control this machine?
Well, of course I can control it. 9 times out of 10? Well, 7 times out of 10.
Quite unlike, say, a Captain Kirk or Picard, the Doctor was usually at odds with any current establishment. From the very beginning, he was a dissident, out of favor with the other Time Lords, and on the run. Perhaps that explains why this children's show attracted an adult following.
I'm not exactly breaking the laws of time, but I am bending them a little.
Never did bother much about rules, as I remember.
In the late 70s, Douglas Adams, a script editor on Doctor Who, created a radio serial called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Adams then turned the scripts into a couple of best-selling novels and this TV miniseries. The premise is that aliens are destroying Earth to make way for a new express route. Moments before the planet is vaporized, Earth resident Arthur Dent is whisked away on an amusing journey through time and space.
Good grief. Is this really the interior of a flying saucer?
Yes. What do you think?
Well, it's a bit squalid, isn't it?
The show's humor belongs to the Monty Python school, which is rooted in the premise that the universe is absurd and unkind, especially to the English. The program hilariously and cruelly lampooned all government, authority, and idealistic visions of the future.
On arrival, we will stay in dock for 72 hours, and all planet leave is cancelled. I've just had an unhappy love affair, so I don't see why anybody else should have a good time.
Perhaps the best blend of sci-fi and humor since Hitchhiker's Guide is Red Dwarf. The BBC series debuted in 1988. It features 3 losers navigating the far reaches of the universe in a rundown spaceship.
We're a bit short on a few supplies.
Like what?
Cow's milk. Ran out of that yonks ago. Fresh and dehydrated.
What kind of milk are we using now?
Emergency backup supply. We're on the dog's milk.
The show's humor is in the same absurdist vein as Hitchhiker's Guide, but raunchier. The jokes focus on vulgarity, hopelessness, stupidity, and bad hygiene.
Just because they're aliens doesn't mean to say they don't have to visit the little boy's room. Although they probably do something weird and alien-esque, like it comes out of the top of their heads or something.
With the dominance of American science fiction TV, it's often been hard to notice what the English have contributed to the genre. But now with the availability of these series on home video, you can easily enjoy the uniquely skewed British take on sci-fi. Next, the strange fantasy world of Lewis Carroll and the terrifying visions of comic book writer Alan Moore. Stand by.
Remember Don and Judy on Lost in Space?
We're back.
And we're hosting the beginning of the End Playhouse on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Saturday and Sunday.
Senator, your mouth has amazed this panel. First, you come out in favor of Long John Silver's crunchy batter-dipped fish.
Wholeheartedly.
Then you endorse the breaded clams.
I cannot deny that.
So, Senator, which is it?
Actually, I'm making a motion for Long John's golden batter-dipped shrimp.
No matter which seafood taste you favor, you'll amaze your mouth at Long John Silver's.
And is it true that money changed hands?
Yes, but only $1.99.
Get one piece of fish, 3 shrimp, and fries, just $1.99.
They say America lacks the skills it needs to stay competitive. They say our businesses won't have enough qualified workers for tomorrow's jobs. They don't know about ITT Technical Institute, where students get a hands-on head start towards some of today's fastest-growing technical careers. Find out more about ITT Tech by calling 1-800-942-0099. ITT Tech, it's an education that works.
Were you my mom's best friend in school?
Yes, and now that we're best friends, I brought you a present. Look.
It's a phone number.
Friends and Family is offering everyone in America their own 800 number as our gift to you.
It lets special people in my life call me as often as they want without it costing them a penny.
Call now and get 100 free minutes.
I'm giving it to you because when I pick up the phone and you're there, it's like opening up a present.
Friends and Family. Real savings, real simple.
You are watching Sci-Fi Buzz on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Jack into the Dominion. The Dominion, the home of science fiction on the web. Explore, contact, create, download, communicate. The Dominion. Welcome to the Edge.
Back at the Doctor Who convention in Van Nuys, California, with some of the, the junkies of the genre here. Sorry to call you all junkies. You look fabulous. Who are you supposed to be now again?
An ice warrior.
An ice warrior. Okay.
From Mars.
How much do you know about British sci-fi?
Oh, what I know is from this convention in particular, and also from what I've actually seen on PBS stations.
Well, why are you a fan of it?
I love the humor. The humor is unique. It's not like American humor at all, and it comes through even when they're trying to be serious.
Yeah. How about you? Why do you like British sci-fi?
Well, I like British sci-fi. I actually like Doctor Who because he's a guy who wants to help out people and maybe is a bit of a klutz, but still gets his job done.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you all know Alan Moore? Well, he's a fabulous writer. He did that horrific comic, The Watchmen. Now,
with Dave Gibbons, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a story about him and his amazing work. His name is Alan Moore, and if you haven't heard of him, hopefully you've heard of his work. Comics like The Watchmen and From Hell have catapulted the genre to a place it's never been, and no one ever imagined it could go. Thanks to this comic book writer's blood-curdling words and ideas, these pages aren't just for kids anymore.
I don't know. It's always difficult to say what you've brought to a particular field, whether you would have done it differently. I mean, with Watchmen, as far as I can remember, my intention was to make the comic book, or the superhero comic book to be more specific, to make that capable of dealing with adult themes, of employing more complex storytelling techniques, and a more grim, gritty, realistic view of the superhero and his world.
So grim and gritty, in fact, that some shops refuse to carry Moore's work. For instance, From Hell has been seized by police in a number of countries, including the UK, America, Canada, and Australia. But Alan insists he's only writing about the real world and its real people. People like you and me. Well, at least like Alan.
When I create a character, I basically attempt to put, I suppose, a theory of personality of mine into practice. I believe that almost everybody has a multifaceted personality. So, if you're writing a character that is, for example, very cowardly, then it would be instructive to actually go back to the last time in your life, the time that you didn't tell anybody about, when you did something that was low and cowardly, and then amplify that emotion. And the same goes if you're doing a character that is particularly noble.
Sounds innocent enough, but Alan's work has kept him underground and outside the comic book mainstream. Although Alan might say there's no such thing as underground anymore.
I don't know if there is an underground anymore, is there? I think that there was once a very clear distinction between underground comics and overground comics. I think that distinction has blurred. I think that the underground and the mainstream have become very interchangeable.
But if you think that means he's changed over the years, think again.
It's not like I'm an outsider who came in. I think I'm an outsider, and then the walls of the building that I was outside just collapsed of their own accord. Everybody's outside now. This is the 20th century. You know, we're sort of... I don't think there are any insiders anymore. Perhaps in the stock markets, but not in real life.
And where does that leave his readers? Not even Alan wants to fathom a guess.
I don't know who reads my material. Some artists and writers tend to work with a particular audience in mind. I really can't imagine who's reading my stuff, but I don't think I want to be trapped in an elevator with them.
Hey, Buzzers, I'm kind of baffled this week. I'm at a Doctor Who convention in Van Nuys, California. Really kind of cool, but I got to admit something to you. I don't know that much about the series. Guess what I do know is it started back in 1963, of course, in Great Britain, but it was designed as a children's show, so it's kind of amazing that it's become this legendary adult TV series. I got to find out more. Who knows about who? Who knows who?
I'm a bit worried about the temporal flicker in Sector 13. There's a bicentennial refit of the TARDIS to book in. I must just pop over to Centauri 7, and then perhaps a quick holiday.
Hey, Buzzers, come here a second. Now, I'm learning. So you two look very familiar. Where would I have known you?
Well, what do you mean, where do you know it? I am Sylvester McCoy, the 7th Doctor Who, and this is Sophie Aldred, my companion ace.
Hello, I'm
Pleasure. And, you know, if you watch your channel every now and again, you might see it.
Oh, man. Aren't you Mr. Smarty Pants?
Yes.
Are you
Yes.
surprised that a lot of Americans are really getting into this?
Well, no, not really, because, I mean, they have been getting into it now for quite a long time, for many years. I mean, what's wonderful is it's growing and growing. I mean, that's what's great. It became a small cult thing at the beginning, and it's now spreading joyfully across the States, which is great. It's not like doing any other television program, bizarrely. It's not like being in a famous actor in a soap opera or even a famous film star. It has it's very akin to being like an ambassador. When you get the role, as an actor, suddenly you realise you've become an ambassador for the BBC or something like that, and you've got to mind your P's and Q's.
Sure, you guys are hot in the States, but so is Lewis Carroll's work, believe it or not.
Another British person.
Absolutely. Actually, in particular, Alice in Wonderland is making a comeback here.
Yeah.
In fact, you might call it an Alice Renaissance.
To me?
To you!
It all started back in the 1860s when a stammering British mathematician named Charles Dodson began inventing stories to amuse a lively little girl named Alice Little.
I do so love to hear you laugh, little Alice.
Do you, Mr. Dodgson?
Under the pen name Lewis Carroll, Dodgson wrote two of the most beloved stories of all time, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass and What Alice Found There. But all was not innocence and wonderment in the real life of Lewis Carroll. A new critically praised biography by scholar Morton Cohen suggests Carroll was a repressed Victorian with an attraction to prepubescent females. One rampant rumor of the day held that at 31 years old, Carroll proposed to an 11-year-old Alice.
We all want you to be the little girl you once were.
Oh, the little girl Mr. Dodgson made me out to be, you mean 70 years ago.
Yes. Lewis Carroll's Alice.
Carroll's dark side is evident in the 1985 film Dream Child. The story follows an elderly Alice to New York City for a celebration of the centenary of the author's birth. She arrives in the midst of the Depression when people are desperate to believe in Carroll's fanciful tales.
Dodson's coming back to haunt me. He's coming back. I don't know what to do.
English actress Coral Brown Also, the late Mrs. Vincent Price plays an 80-year-old Alice who has spent years stifling the memories of her youth. The film features colorful Wonderland characters like the Mad Hatter and the March Hare, courtesy of Jim Henson's Creature Shop.
I'm late for a very important date. No time to say hello, goodbye. I'm late.
Carol's timeless story has been the basis for several films produced on both sides of the Atlantic. But top-notch animation and memorable sing-along songs have made Disney's 1951 version an enduring favorite with Alice fans. Happily, Alice in Wonderland is getting star treatment in a deluxe Laserdisc edition from Disney Home Video. The box set includes Walt Disney's debut TV show, 1 Hour in Wonderland, along with several other Alice-related treats. Lewis Carroll is long gone, but several of today's top fantasy writers are keeping his spirit alive. Fantastic Alice was recently published as a tribute to the Queen of the Looking Glass and her creator. Complete with new stories from Wonderland, the book, edited by noted fantasy writer Margaret Weiss, has the heroine confronting a whole new set of crises.
And find the pleasure in all their simple joys, remembering her own child life and the happy summer days.
As we near the centenary of Lewis Carroll's death in 1898, we can marvel at the fact that his Alice books have never been out of print. In fact, next to the Bible and Shakespeare, these whimsical tales are the most widely translated and quoted books in the world. Coming up, one of the hippest sci-fi writers around, England's Jeff Noon. Stay glued.
Here's new croissant pockets from Hot Pockets brand.
Sandwiches stuffed with fabulous fillings like chicken and broccoli. Or ham and cheddar. In a tender, flaky crust. Outstanding. New croissant pockets from
Hot Pockets.
These guys are persistent.
Well, they're no match for the world's first sport utility wagon.
Oh, really?
All-wheel drive Subaru Outback's got more headroom than a Cherokee. The ground clearance of an Explorer.
So you said.
Ride smooth as any car.
Got any more of those tidbits?
What, like more stability in a turn than a Chevy Blazer?
Sure, that'll do.
That's my Subaru Outback. World's first sport utility wagon.
Welcome to Downworld, where reality becomes fantasy, and one tragic accident becomes an epic adventure spanning two worlds. The Odyssey premieres Sunday, April 14th. You are watching the Sci-Fi Channel.
This clothing store has great selection, but I run 250. All right, 260. And in my size, that selection is pretty thin. Well, I found a place that has great clothing selection for big guys. Tall guys, too. The king size catalog. Look, brand names, good prices, and perfect fit no matter what size you are. And convenience? Just pick up the phone and call. All the top designers, selection, colors, quality, all for big and tall men only. Shirts too short? King size, perfect fit. Squeezed on neck size? King size, perfect fit. They've got everything in here. Shirts, slacks, shoes, jackets, jeans, just for us big and tall guys. Hey, extra long ties, too. Yeah. The king size catalog, all for big and tall men only. Only.
If you're a big and tall guy, be sure and write down that number and give us a call. Every item is guaranteed for quality and fit. King size, perfect fit. King size.
Back at the Doctor Who convention here in Van Nuys, California. With us here, Terry Walsh. How you doing, Terry?
I'm okay, thank you.
You worked on how many Doctor Whos?
I don't know. More than anybody else, according to the people who keep records.
Yes, whoever they may be.
Whoever they may be.
But you did stunts. A lot of them.
Stunts and stunt coordination, yeah.
Yeah. What was the most dangerous or the most interesting that you ever did? What did they normally ask for, call for?
Well, they couldn't afford a lot because it was a very low-budget show. But I fell off cliffs and, smashed things and fell down things, usually doubling John Pertwee, who's a friend of mine. and I wasn't a bad double for him. So we had a good time.
Do you know this guy who lives in Manchester?
Oh, hello, everybody in Manchester.
Jeff Noon? Oh, the writer, you know him?
Of course I know.
Oh, then watch this.
I know.
Look right in there.
Former punk musician and current sci-fi literary darling, Jeff Noon, wielded his British charm at a recent Los Angeles book signing as he set out to conquer America.
Gumbo Yaya talking to you. Good morning, Manchester. Let's kickstart the new day.
The Manchester native's first book, Vert, won him the Arthur C. Clarke Award for fiction. Quite an achievement considering Noon had written plays and music, but never intended to write a novel.
I was actually asked to write a book by a friend of mine who was starting his own publishing company. So it was just me going home and accepting that challenge and writing. And I just made it up as I went along. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And I thought I was writing a book that some friends of mine in Manchester might quite enjoy, you know. And now it's being translated all around the world.
Working in a Manchester bookstore exposed Noon to a variety of literary genres. And while American crime stories are a personal favorite, science fiction offers the perfect outlet for his offbeat imagination.
I think I'm always going to be a weird writer. Occasionally I do try to write realistic scenes and prose and short stories, you know, but something goes wrong. This madness comes in and it starts to take off and spiral away. And I think, oh God, here we go again.
Noon's second book, Pollen, has just been released in the States. And several fans, including a couple who call themselves the biggest Jeff Noon fans in Los Angeles, were on hand to meet the hot young scribe.
She insisted quite strongly that I pick up Vert, and I did so and was amazed. It's incredible. Reading him is almost like listening to music, but like nothing you've ever heard before.
Only one noted author has come out of Manchester pre-Jeff Noon. That's Anthony Burgess of Clockwork Orange fame. But several creative forces from the gritty industrial town have permeated the international music scene, and their influence is apparent in Noon's work.
I think that when I came to write Vert, I was really trying to write a book that was the equivalent of listening to, say, a Joy Division or a New Order album, you know. And I write to music all the time, and I hope that I've got a musical prose.
Contemporary life in Manchester figures heavily in Noon's work, and he says that while fellow Mancunians get about 99% of it, that number dips dramatically with Yanks.
I think people that live in America don't get about 1% of all the cultural references, which is great, because that means that in America it tends to be viewed more as science fiction than it does in Britain.
Noon has just completed a novel called Automated Alice, set to hit these shores this fall. The story imagines that just before he died, Lewis Carroll wrote a third Alice book set in, surprise, surprise, Manchester.
I want to write books that are different. Each book has to be different for me, so that people will never quite know what a Jeff Noon book's going to be. Are you experienced by the Jimi Hendrix experience? Play some loving guitar for me, Jimmy. Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
This week on CNET Central, if it points, clicks, or shoots, we'll cover it.
Buy it, buy it, buy it.
If it teaches, enlightens, empowers, you'll see it.
I give this a try it.
If it sings, flies, or simply crashes and burns, you'll be the first to know.
I gave this a skip it.
CNET Central, we're your multimedia source. Sci-Fi Channel next.
If you were building the perfect sedan, how would you do it? Well, you'd start with the luxuries you could get, like a Bose audio system with 6 individually tuned speakers and a keyless remote entry. Install a powerful 190 horsepower V6 engine. Then, as a finishing touch, you'd put it on Car and Driver's 10 best list. The Nissan Maxima, the perfect sedan.
Morning, guys.
Just when you think your diarrhea medicine is working.
Oh, boy. What's wrong?
It can let you down.
But you can count on Imodium AD to stop diarrhea, often in just one dose, instead of dose after dose, more than a third of a bottle of the pink stuff. And Imodium AD is even better than the leading prescription.
I told you we should have stopped for Imodium AD.
Imodium AD, one dose relief you can count on.
You are watching Sci-Fi Buzz on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Every day, it's the same routine. He gets out of bed, he goes to the kitchen, pours himself a glass of juice, turns on the radio, and opens the newspaper. This wouldn't be so tragic, except it's not morning. It's the middle of the night.
Over 50 million Americans suffer from not sleeping, and they don't believe there is anything they can do about it. But there is. They can see their doctor. They can get back to sleeping normally again. There are new ways to treat their problem, and newer prescription medications that can help.
How are you feeling?
Okay. Just couldn't sleep again.
Maybe we should see the doctor.
Sleep. It doesn't have to be a dream.
Hundreds of fans here at the Doctor Who Con were eager to find out about an exciting new Who project. Executive producer Philip Siegel thrilled them with the news of a Doctor Who TV movie set to air on Fox this May. English actor Paul McGann, who appeared in Aliens, will play the 8th Doctor Who. If the television movie is a hit with viewers, can a new series be far behind? Who knows? I'm with John Levine now here at the Doctor Who convention, and fill me in on your background. I guess I messed up your name already, right?
Well, I'm now John Anthony Blake, which I changed my name 8 years ago, but we'll go into that some other time.
Good.
I was just one of those lucky actors that I was just a working actor in Britain, and suddenly the director, Douglas Canfield, who had done all the most prestigious Doctor Who's, he needed a secret agent guy in one of the episodes, and he'd seen me as an extra, and lo and behold, I ended up as Secret Agent Benton.
But you got the look. You got the voice.
Well, yes. Well, but in those days, remember back in the 70s, everything was fresh and new.
Mm-hmm.
There was no competition apart from Star Trek, and we were far better than Star Trek. And
everybody was watching, right?
Yeah, everybody watched, indeed. And then it spread across the world. And the one thing Sylvester and Sophie and all I love is we go across the world as emissaries for the show. Mm-hmm. That's why this Philip Siegel thing, it's so wonderful that somebody's picked it up, because, you know, he's back and it is about time.
Yeah.
It's...
How many... Tell me about what it was like. How many viewers would watch at a time?
Well, considering England only has about 30, 40 million people, we had between 18 and 20 million back in the 70s, when TV was much what you call more real and more new.
Right.
And it had real energy, because BBC, even though it was a public sort of broadcasting thing, they were the most original station almost in the world. And so that's how Doctor Who, it just built and built and built. And then, of course, they did the metamorphosis between the Doctors. And as a character like myself and Nicholas Courtney, to regenerate, if you like, with the new Doctors, was the phenomenal part of our time in Doctor Who. Yeah. That's why it excites me. It excites me now, and I'm middle-aged. You know. No, I'm not middle-aged. I mean, I'm... No.
Yeah, right. It's okay to get excited. I'm getting excited too, and I want to learn more, but we got to end the show here. But this has been so much fun. Go out and learn as much as you can about Doctor Who, and I'm going to do that right now with you, okay?
Well, God bless everybody.
See you next week,
Goodbye.
everybody.
Goodbye.
So anyway what we
Hello, this is Richard Hart from CNET Central. If you want to know where you should point, what you can click, or who is shaping the world of tomorrow with technology today, you gotta tune in CNET Central. Sci-Fi Channel next.